Well done, sir. This interview is being recording, and I would like you to first tell me what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Edison Fernandez, and I am from Bogota, Colombia.
How did you get in the education field, or how did you become interested in teaching?
I think it was very early when I was trying to decide what to do with my life, and I applied at the public university for modern languages, which is what I went for. That was my major. Then I did a master's degree in it's an MAT, a master in arts of teaching. My interest has always been there. I think it's been natural. I have always wanted to become a teacher.
Very interesting, sir. So you've been born to be a teacher.
I don't know about that. Sometimes I have my doubts
Okay.
and my hesitations.
Where are you teaching at now?
At a public high school in the United States.
How long have you been teaching?
Been teaching around 15 years.
Tell me about the ways you have taken to foster autonomy in your students,
Well,
which is
that is
the main topic we're going to discuss in this
right. That is
interview.
the constant struggle, I believe, and is more common these days. If you are in the field of education, it seems like there is less and less autonomy, meaning that we are supposed to provide more and more instructions on how to do every single thing step by step, as opposed to letting them be autonomous and trying to figure out things by themselves.
Can you describe the kind of students you work with?
Um, in reference to what?
Yes, are you teaching with adults? Are you teaching with
Okay,
all?
they are high schoolers, they are mm, teenagers from, I don't know, 15 to 17 years old, uh, male and female, not very diverse, middle class kids. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Sir, now I'm sharing my screen, and
It
what
is
I'm gonna
working.
do is to show you the results of some perceptions of 8 teachers from different sectors of education. Some are in elementary, others are in the middle school, and others are in high school. And one teacher from high education. These are their perceptions. And I would like you to tell me what do you think about their perceptions. First of all, we're going to analyze this assertion. Let me show you here. This assertion is language learners of all ages can develop learner autonomy. You can see the 37.5% are in
Agree.
agreement. The 25% are also in strongly agreement, but there are 37.5% of teachers who are unsure. What do you think teachers are unsure about this assertion?
Why do I think they are unsure about this assertion?
Yeah,
I believe it is because of their personal experiences teaching whatever they are teaching. They seem to find every day more and more problems when it comes to students trying to be autonomous in their work. So I don't think I'll be in that field of the 20 the what is it 37.5% unsure. I think I'll be more in the green section of this chart right here, this assertion, where I agree that they can develop learner autonomy, but given circumstances and distractions and new technologies is very difficult. It's very complicated.
absolutely. Let's move on to this one. It says your students keep track on their progress toward goals. Yes, in this spot, the majority of the teachers contemplate that their students are aware of how they are doing toward their own goals, but some took a different view of choosing disagreement and others are unsure. What is your reaction to this perspective?
Okay, I would be, let me see, I'll be in the at 25%. I'll be in the unsure. I think the responsibility is given to the teachers now. We are supposed to be keeping track for what they do and how they are doing things as compared to themselves, not being able to knowing where they are and where they are going. It is our job to set the goal and to communicate it to them and try to walk them through it. But it is very difficult for students to keep track of their own goals. It all depends on the school, the teacher. There are so many factors that have influence on that.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the eyes of the stakeholders are spot on teachers, and certainly sometimes all the responsibility, I don't know, but is on us, and it's quite difficult reality. Okay, sir, let's check this. It says your students are able to accomplish goals on time. So it's about
Mm,
punctuality and something like that. Especially, in South America, our culture is not like the English one. In this place, 75% think that their students are able to accomplish goals on time, but there are different views. 25% are in disagreement with that. How do you feel about it?
Once again, I think it is very difficult to talk about results right now, given that times have changed in the last 10 months. If you ask me before COVID, it was probably a little different here in the United States. But after COVID, things have completely changed. We have actually been instructed by the administrators on giving students all the time they need to make up work, if that makes sense. So, to accomplish their goals, giving has been way more flexible lately these days. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, sir.
So let me give you an example. If you were given a deadline of 2 weeks, that has completely disappeared, and they have the rest of the term or the quarter or whatever is your time period for teaching to accomplish whatever goal they are supposed to be accomplishing.
Certainly, sir, we are part of the same species wherever we are on this
Yeah, I
planet.
don't think it's that
So
much
here happens the
different.
same,
Yeah, I don't think it's that much different.
of course. Sir, look at this assertion. As soon as your students see a problem or challenge in their tasks you assigned, they start looking for possible solutions. 62.5% consider that their students are a problem solvers. In contrast, others are unsure and others don't think so. What are your thoughts on this?
Again, it all depends on the population. There are certain populations that are more interested in their own learning, and there are some that really don't care. So it has to do with, in my personal opinion, it has to do with social class. Unfortunately, some people have more interest for learning than others and have been taught that at home, if that makes any sense. So, answering the question, uh, many students don't want to find a solution themselves. They want the solution given to them, or they just give up. So I actually disagree. I'll be in the 12.5% on the red section right here on your chart.
Quite interested, sir. Okay, what about this? Most of the time, your students don't pay attention to what they are doing. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Here, the 50 of the teacher's opinion regarding students' attention are in disagreement about most of the time students don't pay attention to what they are doing. Tell me if students really deal with special care when they are developing an activity. Learning activities draw enough interest to allow students focus their full attention on what they're doing?
Uh, One more phenomenon we're seeing is the distraction factor is so high. There are
Absolutely,
so
sir.
many distractors out there right now. When we were growing up, we only had two or three channels to watch TV, and now they have hundreds of options, and also media has been created in a way that you are all the time attached to it. It has become so addictive that there's no way for the brain to be focused for more than a minute, because everything has to be done quickly.
Yes, and our minds are like an starving lion, waiting for a prey. And with all of this information available is absolutely a crazy matter.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. What about this? When your students get behind on their work, they often give up.
Yes, they do. They do. Talking about high school, and again, there's in that range. Let's say you have 30 students. I would say 70% would do it if they fall behind. But there are others that have a lot of pressure, probably from home, probably from within, from themselves, and they try to get back to where they are supposed to be.
Yes,
But
and
if
it's a
many students are falling behind, many times they're going to just give up.
yes. Imagine that kind of generations who are not, who are dependent on. Okay, sir. Let's see this. Involving learners in decisions about what to learn promotes learner autonomy. So, I mean, in terms of decisions, if they want to learn this or other, not concerning to if they have to choose from the program.
Yeah, that would be nice. And I don't know if there's an institution where they can do that. My experience, my personal experience from college or different schools, public and private, are the opposite. There's a curriculum and we follow it. Everything is lined up and we have to just be inside that box. It's very difficult for us to be flexible about what students get to learn. I like the idea. It gives some freedom and maybe will create more interest for students. But in reality, it's difficult.
Yes,
We don't have that
consider
flexibility.
considering that education is under some politics views, and we depend on what these amazing people, um, you know, think the society must, uh, you know, well, this is a political matter, and well, we don't
Yeah.
have to step on that. Okay, sir. Finally, learners' autonomy is promoted through activities which give learners opportunities to learn from each other. So it's something like politics. Sorry, like a
Okay.
cooperative politics. You see?
Yes. And I think this is part of the teacher's preparation. Uh, New theories talk about that and how we should differentiate in the classroom where students that actually have the opportunity to uh, come with their own activities and at least get to choose from different activities, if that makes any sense. So some teachers probably won't do that because they didn't learn to do it that way, but maybe there are new teachers that are beginning to do that, giving students the opportunity to learn from each other, uh, in the sense that they can do teamwork and problem solving and project based programs and things like that.
Yes. I don't know, but I consider that over this pandemic era and the post-pandemic era, everything is going to work. But if we are working you know, as teams, in cooperative ways. And
Right.
certainly education could foster this. Okay, sir, I'm just here stopping sharing my screen. And finally, I'm just going to ask you something else. My final set of questions are focused on getting to know more about the current situation challenge for the health emergency. I'm interested in your experiences and beliefs as a teacher, especially in this remote teaching adverse reality. So tell me, how are you dealing with these challenges in this remote teaching?
Okay, my personal experience about teaching remotely.
Exactly.
Well, uh, in my personal opinion or in my personal experience at my job, we have seen that the grades have actually fallen because of working remotely, meaning that students have been performing lower because of internet issues, technology is not working for everybody, or because some people can be used as an excuse not to complete what they are supposed to. It's been very difficult, even here where we have all the possibilities. Uh, Many students don't really have access to them. So one way that we are dealing with that is, like I said before, giving extra time for people to complete tasks that are not synchronous, that are not happening live, if that makes any sense.
Yes, this is a real bizarre reality. So, can you explain how you are using internet to continue your teaching process?
Well, are you familiar with MLS? Different um, platforms. Do you know what MLSs
All
are?
right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, so we use one specific platform is called Canvas,
Okay.
and through there we do our daily agendas. We do live teaching sometimes, and we do asynchronous, meaning that they can do the work and turn it in later. Uh, we use, like everybody has been using, uh, live video streaming, like Zoom is the most common one, but the platform that we are using has also um, a feature like that one. Also, Google Classroom and any other MLSs we use. That's what we've been using. A lot
Okay.
of kind of gaming apps have actually come out lately that kind of become similar to video games, but they are supposed to be for teaching, like Kahoots, and I don't know if you're familiar with those down in Colombia.
Yes, sir. Could you tell me about some experiences you had working with your students in this remote teaching? Any special experience?
Well, one experience is that our working hours have completely changed. I think because of the use of technology, there's not a barrier or a limit in time of work. You can have emails and you can have messages from students and parents on a Saturday or a Sunday, or once you're home at 5 p.m. and you're trying to rest from work, you continue to work because of uh, the access that we all have on to technology nowadays.
I would like you to thank you once again for your time and for being willing to participate in this interview. I must tell you that this interview has been very helpful for my study. Will you tell me your final thoughts about autonomy and self-regulation? How do you feel during this interview? And finally, do you have any questions for me?
About our autonomy and self-regulation, I think it is very important. We all have to learn about that. Not only the kids at school, but even adults need to work on that. That's something that is not really taught a lot at schools. There are some schools that are actually focused on that self-regulation. You manage your time, you manage your behavior, you manage uh, your emotions, for example, and is relevant to every single day uh, basis. But we many times forget about that. It is important to become autonomous and to also be able to work with groups and cooperate, but it's something that is kind of forgotten or not taken into account when we're teaching.
Absolutely, sir. I really thank you for once again, and I wish you Merry Christmas, sir. And certainly, the next year is going to be a year full of hope and full of work and hard work.
I hope so. I hope it gets better. It will be. It hasn't been that bad. We
Okay,
got to
yes,
stay
sir.
positive and
Stop.
regulate our emotions.
Okay, sir. I stop recording this session, and once again, I really thank you I appreciate the way you are doing your job there and representing our country in a very significant and remarkable way from education.
All right, Jose, thank you.